Let me gab at you for a minute about some project management. I want to talk more specifically about some of the tools project managers use to keep things organized and the project flowing smoothly. These tools are a work breakdown structure, a logic network diagram, and a Gantt chart. AV project coordination covers many different aspects of the project and is not limited to just the AV portion of the project. Sometimes, many other areas must be completed before certain AV components can be started or completed, such as waiting to schedule the installation of sensitive equipment until construction is over. Other areas of the project must also be monitored by the AV project manager to ensure that considerations for AV equipment or specifications are met, such as monitoring where the ventilation system or sprinkler system is in the space. The most common way to coordinate when these tasks should be completed and to track a project is to create a visual organizational chart that helps manage events. There are 3 basic ways to do this. A work breakdown structure, or WBS, defines the products or services. A logic network diagram shows which tasks have to be completed before you can begin your work. And a Gantt chart provides a timeline for all the activities that have to happen. A prominent tool or technique for project management is the work breakdown structure. It is a deliverable-oriented discussion created in a hierarchical form. It reveals how deliverables and components are interconnected and dependent on one another. Huh? Let me say that in a way we can easily understand. A work breakdown structure tells me all the things a project needs to accomplish, organized into levels and displayed visually. The objective of a work breakdown structure is to ensure that all staff members working on the project clearly understand what end products the client expects to receive. A work breakdown structure only tells you what. It does not address who, when, or how much. Let's take a quick look how I create a work breakdown structure. First, I'm going to start with the main goal of my project. These can also be broken down into individual milestones. Let's do a project we can all easily understand. Making dinner. I'm going to break down some of the things that go into making this project or milestone successful. As I break the tasks down, I want to discuss these tasks with the project team to ensure I have all the tasks needed. Then, I want to break each larger task down to its smaller components. And then, I want to break those smaller components down even further. Once I have the task broken down to its smallest component or smallest task, I start on another large task. Once I have a completed work breakdown structure with all my tasks broken down, I can use my logic network diagram to figure out how to properly sequence those tasks, what needs to come before what, and how long it will take. Logic network diagrams can be used when negotiating with your client regarding what other tasks need to be done before you can begin your task. For example, say you allocate 5 weeks to do a job and the client asks if you could do it in 2. If the sprinkler system still needs to be installed in the space, you aren't going to be able to install your AV system first without risking damage. When I create my logic network diagram, I could do it for any level of my work breakdown structure. It all depends on how granular or detailed you want to get in the prediction of your timeline. Okay, so let's create a logic network diagram for my task. I need to figure out at what level I'm going to start and in what sequence the tasks need to be organized. Then, I need to lay out those tasks and figure out task dependencies. What tasks need to happen before other tasks can start? Once I have a sequence, I can estimate how long it's going to take each individual task. Then, starting from my goal or milestone, I can work backward and figure the longest amount of time it's going to take this particular sequence. I call this my critical path. Once I establish my critical path, I can figure out how long it will take me to complete the selected sequence of tasks. I can also figure out how much time I will have in between other tasks. Project managers call this slack and float. Slack is extra time that allows a particular activity to start later than originally planned, while float time lets me take longer on a particular activity. Now I can see in a linear graphic what things I need to do first, what things need to finish before others start, how long each individual task should take, if a task finishes before another task, how I could shift resources to an adjacent task, and how long it will take to accomplish my main task or get to the next milestone. Now it brings us to our Gantt chart. The most common way to present a project schedule is a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart depicts the timeline for tasks and subtasks as horizontal bars that show the sequence in which tasks should be performed, and any milestones in the project, such as completion of a major task. Gantt charts are a great way to provide a graphic to your client so they can understand which tasks impact other activities, some of which will be activities from other trades. Down the left side, you can see the activities and milestones. The diamonds represent milestones, which are tasks that have to happen before the next task can happen. If the milestones are not met, the project will not be able to continue forward. The milestones might shift one way or another. If you receive approval quickly, the milestones can move to the left, but if the activity requires revisions, the milestones might move to the right. Since some tasks must be completed before others may start, the Gantt chart identifies these types of dependencies in a manner that clearly shows their sequence. For example, walls in a room must be finished and painted prior to mounting sensitive and fragile AV components. So the start dates of these tasks will be identified as dependent on the end dates of the room preparation tasks. Okay, so now we have taken a quick look at 3 of the tools project managers might use to keep the project organized and on track. Next time you're planning an AV project or a dinner party, try using some of these tools and remember the 7 P's. Proper prior planning prevents painfully poor performance.